Welcome, one and all. It's the Games at Large, episode 45. This is today's host, the Good Shepherd. Um, you know how we do. Starting from left to right, the esteemed beer hugger. What's up?
What's going on, everyone? It's been a while since I've been in one of these podcasts. Glad to be here again, finally.
Cool, cool. And our musically inclined individual. What's good?
That's me, right?
Twilight. Yeah, that'd be Twilight.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, Twilight Bites, I'm back. Good to be here.
Cool, cool. And of course, Games rose up, filling in his Games at Large.
Yeah, I'm like two people today. But yeah, how's it going?
Okay. Red, what's up?
How's it going? I have not suffered fool's lightning since 1991. Boom!
And the evil genius mastermind, Shadow Fox. What's good?
Road Ninja K9 Descent, what's up? Hey, how about we get a pure platinum trophy as an achievement?
In
We're
Smash
not on
Brothers.
PlayStation.
They don't
Alright, I
exist
guess.
on PlayStation yet.
Shadow,
They will.
let's start off tonight's topic then.
Hello.
The what?
Shadow,
Yes.
what topic would you like to discuss tonight, good sir?
It's kind of odd because I don't know if I want to step on that toe yet. However,
Let's crush it, man.
so Bayonetta 2 is doing well.
Yes, it is.
It's doing better than most people thought.
It is playing well. It is surpassed a lot of people's expectations as far as quality is concerned, as well as content. And it's really quiet on that front. Usually, there's something negative usually said about the company that decided to help publish that game. I really find it odd that people are not necessarily coming up with excuses, but conveniently omitting this game from Game of the Year lists. I mean, there are other games that should also take its place on that platform, but we all know that they were going to ignore those. But now we're to the point where now we're coming up with excuses like, well, only one person from our office has played this game. We're playing other games like Lords of the Fallen. I mean, I've seen the review scores for that game, but I really don't know why 17 people at a publication are playing that instead of Bayonetta 2. But
I'm
apparently,
not going to be playing Bayonetta 2. I'm going to be playing Destiny.
I understand. Yes, yeah, apparently there's a lot of that going on.
Destinalized.
So I'm just really having had extensive hands-on with that game from front to back. I take that how you
Extensive
will.
love making. Extensive
Yeah,
climaxes.
Yeah, with a lot of climaxes in that game. I am willing to say that is probably one of the best action games I've played in over a decade. I'm willing to say that. And when you come across a genre-defining game like that, I really have a hard time even having a conversation where anything that's ho-hum in any other genre is even being mentioned in the same breath. So I don't. To me, this should be an automatic win for Game of the Year because there is no other game that has redefined its genre that has ultimately said this is the new standard. I mean, Halo did it a long time ago with the in 2001.
Yep.
GoldenEye did it a couple of years before that. And I mean, Street Fighter 4 kind of did it when it went back to 3D. But I haven't seen anything that has defined the RPG, shooter, or action genre the way this game has in one fell swoop, like right now. And it definitely didn't happen this year. So I'm trying to figure out why there's like a clear lack of recognition for this title from the, how can we say this, more popular areas of the internet.
Yeah, because it's the cool kids.
Because
It's
the real king,
It's a real shame.
and it's good to hate on the king.
It is, but it's a real shame that a lot of journalists out there, or even like when the VGX come out there, and was it like next month? I think it is, early December. I guarantee you that game will not be on any list. Maybe action, but as far as winning a game of the year, probably not. Don't expect it to be.
It'll probably be listed for best Wii U game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
That's
great.
going to be flipping sad. I'm sorry, but that is some BS right there if you think about it logically wise. That game deserves to be in the category of game of the year.
Yes, it needs. I want to say it can also go for. I mean, I'll go down the list here. It can go down for best score.
Oh yeah.
It can go down for best action title, best mechanics,
Yep.
most amount of content, best
Mhm.
value. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, as far as like maximizing the potential of a platform, it definitely did that. There's a lot of features in that game that are not in any other online game on that platform.
Yeah. When was the last time a game came out with a score that was released that had like 5 cities?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
it's been quite a while, right?
yeah, it's been,
May
been
I,
quite a
may I
bit.
play devil's advocate here just for a second, please?
Go ahead.
Well, the thing is this, okay? I think that Bayonetta 2 should definitely get a nomination.
But you don't.
It should get a nomination for it. I don't think it will be it definitely should go up for Action Game of the Year. Do I think it's going to get the best Wii U game of the year?
Well, we don't know because of Smash Brothers.
Yeah, if Smash Brothers wasn't coming out this year, I would say Bayonetta 2, damn sure, yes. With Smash Brothers
Smash
coming
got a
out,
ridiculous
I mean,
amount of
look,
content.
I'm loving this content, but I know Smash Brothers has even more content. So it's like, you know.
But I mean, regardless of all that, though, man, at the end of the day, to me as a gamer, that game will always Bayonetta 2 will always
Oh yeah.
a game of the year contender for sure. In my head, it will be.
I will say this much though. Bayonetta 2 is definitely the best third-party Wii U game that's hit a Nintendo system this year.
Hit a system this generation.
I wasn't to say it's the best third-party game this year. I would say it's definitely
best third-party game.
I guess my problem is that even if you compare it to the likes of Mario Kart 8, which was excellent, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is a really, really good platformer, and I even liked a lot of parts of Infamous Second Son. Like what? Even compared to Smash Brothers. Is it going to redefine fighting games? You get what I'm saying? That's the type of angle that I'm coming at here. And I really, looking at a critical stance, if you're a group of journalists, quote-unquote journalists with journalism, and you're sitting in an office trying to figure out exactly what is the most impactful title that is released in recent memory that has changed the landscape of how certain games were played. I saw a video about this, and I think it was Fierce Francis that did this video, and I was kind of skeptical in what he said at first, but he really said that, you know, this genre had been dying for a while, and that this game resurrected it. Now, I played the demo and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, cool, but after playing through the game thoroughly, I understand everything that he said. And I can't really find a replacement for that from any franchise that's been out in the last 5 years.
Nope.
I can't. And even with all the good praise I'm hearing about Advanced Warfare, it's not. I'm fairly sure that it's not redefining how FPS is played.
No.
Nope.
I'm certain of that. Very certain.
It's more
It's
Call
not a
of
bad
Duty.
game though. It's a good game. It's a Call of Duty. It's a Call of Duty with a better mobility.
Yeah,
I've been hearing that the campaign is great, the online is great, everything about it is pretty swell. However, I don't.
They're
I'm
just
not saying-
improving
I
the
don't know
technology. That doesn't. It's what have they done like story? Well, there's no story wise. That's bullshit. What have they done like technically that actually enhance the game other than smoother gameplay?
Exactly.
They
talking
added
about
mech
Warfare?
suits. Yeah.
Oh well,
And
I mean, as far as what you were saying, Shadowbox, as far as the online goes, I'm actually hearing the complete opposite of the online. I've been hearing a lot of people raging on Twitter towards Sledgehammer, talking about how shit their online is, man.
Well, before
it's good on
before
Xbox
we
One.
start talking about,
Well, yeah, I heard the Xbox One version was all right.
Hold
Let me
on for a
speak on-
second. Twilight saying something.
Okay.
Go ahead.
let me say something. The reason why I think Bayonetta should get Game of the Year over Smash Brothers is because Smash Brothers, like Shadow Fox said, I don't think Smash Brothers is redefining Smash Brothers itself, gameplay wise and everything like that. I really don't think so. Um, they didn't really add too many new elements into it in terms of the core gameplay. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of new modes and everything, and so it's just like Call of Duty. It's not really too much totally new and revolutionary. The game's going to be amazing,
Yeah, I
but
see
Game
what
of
you're
the
saying.
Year should go to games that innovate and exponentiate. You know what I'm saying?
If
Bayonetta
only
2
that was the
Okay,
case, man.
is
I could
exponentially
respect that
better than
viewpoint.
Bayonetta 1. You know?
Showing
However,
improvement
I will say this real quick
isn't
though.
really. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Shepard.
I was just gonna say improving a game slightly is not really what I would consider game of the year. Like I gotta agree with Twilight and Shadow.
Yeah,
You want a game that really kind of makes you stop and be like, "Holy crap, this is awesome!" Instead of
So
saying, "Wow, this game is good. I've played it before. It's
I,
nice."
I can go ahead and give you a quick list of the type of company this game is in. Super
Go
Mario
for it.
64,
Oh
Yeah.
damn. Okay.
Super
You already
Mario
started.
Galaxy,
Damn again. Okay.
Soul Calibur 2. I'm
Shit.
sorry, the original Soul Calibur. I'm sorry. Um, the sequel to Soul Edge. Um,
Wow.
Street Fighter
Okay.
4.
I wouldn't say 64, but all the rest of them, yeah.
What do you mean you wouldn't say 64?
64
Jumping from
because it
Super,
represented.
It
Because
represents.
64 is like
to
Bayonetta 1 to
64.
me.
Okay.
Because
Then you.
Bayonetta is a sequel. That's
Okay.
the only reason I'm saying that. It's still as
Okay,
good.
got you.
Okay. I can roll with that.
GoldenEye 64 or Halo,
Okay.
whichever one you want to pick.
Yep.
Turok. I'm just playing.
The the original Thief, if anybody remembers that.
Oh God,
Yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
so good.
Neverwinter Nights. We're talking about
We're
stuff.
talking about innovative stuff that really changed the genre or bring it to the next
Well,
level.
if you say Neverwinter Nights, like I would probably go as far back as say maybe Boulder's Gate, maybe.
Yes, probably Baldur's Gate. But the only reason why I would say Neverwinter Nights is because that was when they weren't tied to a certain property, and they had full reign to make all the changes that they wanted to make.
Yeah, it's true. It did do a lot more than what Boulder's Gate did, because Boulder's Gate was more like on a static camera angle. You couldn't really change it all too much in there, so.
Yeah, they
Whatnot.
kind of really went all out on that. It was
Yeah.
basically Baldur's Gate 2 on crack.
Yes,
So,
it was.
I-
Yes, I will say that.
So
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of see it. I kind of see Bayonetta 2 being in that kind of company, and I don't really see anything else other than Infamous taking a spin on GTA 3, which is the other game that I wanted to mention that it's in company with. I don't really see anything else coming close to having the same type of impact. God of War was great, but what Bayonetta 2 just did, I don't even think there's a comparison anymore.
Yeah, is
It
God of
does.
War, because I don't play a lot of God of War, is he nearly as mobile or creative in terms
No,
of
the
combos and everything?
combos were as numerous though. There's a lot of different combinations and weapons that you could use, but as far as Platinum Games perfecting the counter system, dating all the way back to PN03 on GameCube, they've been.
Mhm.
I don't even know how to explain it. But if you've played all their games up until now, I think Bear Hugger, you just did a let's play of Mad World, and
Yeah,
a piece of the dodging system is also in that game.
yeah,
And the same slow motion they've been perfecting this and hiding it in games for over a decade now. And
Yep.
I can't explain. It's an intangible thing that has done a very technical thing that has made a game feel a lot better than it should. Because as a layman, when you watch it, you look really confused. But once you play it,
yeah. Once
I
you play it,
mean,
you understand, and you're doing
It's a real shame too.
Dragon Ball Z shit.
That's one way of looking at it there, Twilight. But I mean, it's a real shame because Platinum Games always get severely overlooked, no matter what console they're on.
oh yes,
Mhm.
I still stand by. I still stand by Wonderful 101 as Game of the Year last year. I still stand by that.
Great game.
Oh yeah, that game is freaking beautiful and amazing.
It
You know,
was
even if
Bayonetta 2 in
Bayonetta 2
practice.
You know what
Even
irks
if
me is
Bayonetta
people
2
say
was
it's a
on-
niche title,
Sorry.
but then go ahead.
I mean, if it was on Xbox One and PS4, it'd probably still get overlooked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they
that's
wouldn't have
what
put the
that's I
same
have
amount of
fear for
love
Scalebound.
Yeah.
and shit into the advertisement.
That's not a
Squad
genre
knows
they
it.
like unless it has Devil May Cry on it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. That's why I fear Scalebound coming out. 'Cause that's another platinum game that's coming out for the Xbox One. So I have a fear. I have a fear that game is going to get severely overlooked.
That game's gonna bomb, man, and and,
Yeah.
and I think that's gonna be a really good game. I know I'm gonna buy it, but I
I'm
think it's gonna
definitely buying
bomb.
it when I get my Xbox One because I'll play anything that has platinum games on it as long as they made it themselves. I'm freaking there day one. I love all their freaking games, all the way down from like freaking Mad World, Vanquish. The list goes on. Like
Well,
they know what they're doing. They know how to make good quality content for their games, man.
well, the thing
That's why
about
they're broken.
Problem
well,
is
the
niche
thing about
titles, unfortunately, but that's the problem. People don't try
yeah.
it out for themselves. Some of the best games ever made were niche titles.
Yep.
And I was gonna say, isn't that the point of video games to begin with?
Exactly, and that's what I was trying to say
You,
earlier. I said in my earlier video is
Donna,
that us as gamers, we're niche period compared to the rest of the world. If you think about it.
I mean, why would you even be in this hobby if all you want is the same thing?
well,
Well, there's the bandwagoners, the dude bros, and everybody else.
you just answered your
Unfortunately.
own question. I mean, Call of Duty sells, Madden sells, FIFA sells, and these are basically the same game re-released every year.
Yeah, but
I mean,
sports games,
sure,
though, sports games have like I look at those as like more of a bigger niche kind of thing because I mean, it's
the
sports.
circumstances change, but it's the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, yeah.
I mean, I mean, look, Bayonetta 2. If you've played as many, like they changed the name, but if you played the teams that were made by Kami and his the games that were made by Kami and his team, like you can see that Bayonetta is the culmination of all the stuff they learned beforehand. It's
In
got a
DMC.
lot of Okami in it. It's got a lot of God Hand in it. It's
Beautiful
got a
Joe.
lot of Mad World. Like everything that they learned, they've refined their techniques over years, and you can feel it. And it's a damn good game, for lack of a better word.
Damn right, man. Amen to that.
And
But I
if
will
people
say
don't
this,
like it, you know, the only people who are saying they don't like it are haters.
And I will say this though, man. At least I give major credit props though to Platinum Games for when they made that port version of Bayonetta 1 that came included.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was
Oh, you-
beautiful right there.
that's
Because
how-
that's
that's
how
the
you-
PlayStation 3 version.
that's how you
That's
sell a
exactly-
game on a
yeah,
system.
Exactly. Well, not only that,
That's
but
how
too as
you
well.
sell a
That's
game
how
on a
you.
system.
That's how you do a freaking port.
Okay, so
You know,
did
you
anybody?
like-
EA Mass Effect.
Yeah,
Sorry.
did y'all pay attention to the post that I put on Google Plus a couple days ago? And,
Actually, I missed it.
No, I missed it.
Digital Foundry, they were damn near eating their hands, writing their review of Bayonetta on the Wii U versus the Xbox 360 and the PS3. There was so much screen tearing in the PS3 version, it looked ridiculous. And the fact that that was the highest selling version is clearly tells you that people will buy a game out of a certain genre if they really demand it. And you know, despite it being an Xbox 360 game, that was the lead platform. Xbox gamers really didn't care about it. And the Wii U version clearly is the definitive version of the game.
Yep.
They said that, but they made so much light of it. Like they said, okay, this is the definitive version of the game. And for the reasons that they said it was definitive, they downplayed them throughout the entire comparison.
Wow.
The first thing I want to mention is there are very few games on the Wii U, and they're usually a software problem. There are very few games on the Wii U that have screen tearing. Because by default, to be able to send stuff to the gamepad, VSync has to be enabled somewhere in the SDK. So vertical screen shifting and tearing and stuff like that normally does not happen at all, especially not during cutscenes where they're more visible on older platforms, or even newer platforms, because you see it on PS4 games too. But that by default, trying to enable that on older hardware with the smaller amount of RAM and a smaller amount of processing would drive the frame rate into the teens. So comparing a game with VSync that is constantly hitting 60 frames per second more than the Xbox 360 version, even though it was quote unquote more stable without VSync enabled, I don't see how you downplay that, because that's just as much as a difference as Wii U running the game in 1080p.
Hmm.
It is just about the same amount of resources. So I don't. If you're going to do a comparison, if you're going to do an in-depth comparison, do it in depth. Don't pick things that you don't like and skirt around the issue. Either
Yeah, yeah,
either the
absolutely.
game is performing well on the platform or it isn't. I just really have a problem with that because the same thing happened with the Black Ops 2 comparison, which was running in VSync and was also outputting the two screens at the same time, which is the same thing Bayonetta 1 and 2 do. So how can you sit here and say, oh, well, this game is struggling to maintain 720p just like the Xbox 360 version? Oh, by the way, VSync is on, which basically would double the frame rate for it. Oh, by the way, it's also outputting a secondary 480p display.
Can we
And
can we just can we
doesn't
just
the
tell
Wii U use less power than the Wii did?
yeah.
Yeah, well,
No.
it's 13
It's
watts, I
about
think.
the same,
Idle.
About the
but it's
same. That's
way
fine.
less power compared to everything else.
Can we
If it's
just
the same as the
be frank
Wii,
here?
that's still crazy.
Can we just be frank here? Look, listen. You have a certain groups of major websites that have made a lot of money through ad revenue and clicks, poo-pooing on Nintendo and the Wii U. Okay, look. You cannot. They're like junkies addicted to smack. They can't quit now, baby. They got to get their next fix.
These
Yeah.
douche nozzles are ruining our hobby. We need to. Sorry, I just had to say that. I'm gonna
No,
stop.
no, I agree with you there, Good Shepherd. 100% for sure.
There's
You
something
would.
to be
Yeah,
said.
they downplay gamers, man. Like especially ones who buy Nintendo products. They downplay.
Gamergate. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. They piss me off.
There's
You
something
know,
to be said for efficiency, and just because you tend to not go for quote unquote higher numbers doesn't mean the performance isn't there.
yeah.
So I really have a problem with people not knowing the bandwidth of certain things, not knowing the amount of throughput of certain things, not knowing how many instructions per clock something is, and quickly dismissing it just because it's lower.
The whole
Or
Well,
thing
you
is,
think it's lower because you really don't even have the numbers.
well, I mean, let me put it this
yeah,
way.
why
I
are you gonna
remember.
criticize something you don't even know anything about, dude?
Yeah, I remember Shadow Fox did a debate, if you want to call it that, with a certain individual who
Slaughter.
basically
Sorry.
was just staying saying some stuff, just spouting random numbers off that they got off of a suspect website, and just trying to talk. And I'm like, dude, look, listen, okay. Just because something on paper has all of these specs doesn't necessarily mean that it's being utilized correctly. Like just because something on paper says it's way more powerful doesn't mean it's necessarily going to smoke its competition. And you know, as someone who's played games on the Wii U, the PS4, and the Xbox One, I can tell you right now, I haven't seen anything that's really blown me away on those other two systems.
Oh no, not really.
Not even the Order 1886.
Nope.
We don't even know how that. I don't know. I've seen a lot of cutscenes from that game, and I saw
Yeah.
gameplay.
I mean, I
I
saw
all
some.
the
want
colors gone.
gameplay. I want to see more gameplay.
Here's the thing. I'm an old school
Cutscenes
gamer.
doesn't do it to me.
Here's the thing. I'm an old school gamer. I've been burned by, oh, look at the graphics. So at this point of my life, I don't care so much about graphics and how it looks. I want
I've
show
never
me how
cared
it
for that
plays.
aspect, man.
Show me how it plays.
Yeah,
Because
gameplay is key
I've
for me.
seen some games that looked gorgeous, and once you play it, you're like, what is this garbage? I can't
Throw the
believe
damn
I
controller at the
spent my
screen.
money like this.
Yeah, I've never been a person for graphics, man. I mean, if they're there, they're there. If they're not, I don't care. I'm not going to ignore it. Same with resolution. If a game runs in 720p or 1080p, whatever, I'll still play the game regardless of what resolution it's in. I care about the gameplay. If I'm having fun with the gameplay itself, then everything else is just out the window for me. I don't give a crap. I'll still play the game. I'll still buy it. I'll still enjoy it, love it, or hate it, depending on the game, like Watch Dogs or something like that. But yeah, that's how I've always been. I've always looked at gaming as from the gameplay standpoint, not from a graphical or resolution or whatever you want to call it. Frame rate, on the other hand, though, that can differ depending on the game. Because obviously, you want something that's playable. But if a game's in 30, or if it isn't 60, or if it's in 30, I'm not going to ignore it either way. I'll still play it because at the end of the day, it's still the same game play wise as far as like everything that's in the game. Like nothing drastically changes for me. I understand that 60 frames can help you, with the way like more responsive and whatnot. That's fine. I get that. But as far as the game itself,
Yeah.
nothing. Everything is still in that same spot. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just laughing because I find it very amusing that people are always like, because I remember when the Wii U came out, and a lot of professionals, quote unquote professionals, were like, "Well, that system is last gen." Really? Because I mean, I'm seeing it doing some things that I am not seeing on these so-called quote unquote next gen consoles. So I don't really know what your definition of last gen is.
That word's lost its meaning, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it all depends on
Last
what's
gen,
being
next
done.
gen, it's all.
And generation is based on time anyway, so
Yeah, exactly. But according to a lot of gamers out there, they automatically assume that generation now is all about, at least now in this generation, it's all about features.
Graphically, this generation is the same as the last, just with better texture.
Slightly better,
More
slightly
pixels
better
on screen.
graphics.
Period.
Slightly
We
better
haven't.
graphics.
I
That's
haven't
it.
seen. I haven't seen better animation. I'm not talking about fluidity. I'm talking about facial animation. Whatever his name is, the president from Call of Duty still looks like he's dead. It's like a dead body reanimated. And
He
facial
does.
features and characters hold on. In game, characters have been looking the same since '06. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Until they stop looking like dead people walking around.
A
I'm not gonna
mannequin.
say that this new generation is amazing because
Yeah,
that was the
exactly.
difference between
Yeah.
the GameCube and the well, I mean the GameCube generation and the Wii generation.
The GameCube
Minus
and
the
the
Wii.
N64 comparison was night and day,
That's
and there is nothing like that right now.
No, not at
No.
all. Especially when you got all these cross-platform, cross-generation games. All they're doing is upgrading the games in minor ways. I had even the ground-up games for the new generation have been.
Yeah, they're just slapping on more like effects.
Yeah.
What you said before.
They're slapping on more effects.
Yeah, they're just slapping on more effects to make it look, look more prettier, like whatever you
They
want to
aren't
call it.
being. These
Drastically
characters
changing.
still animate like shit. Watch Dogs looks like a 360 game, like a really
Yep.
good
Makes me wonder,
late
and it brings up
360 game on the
brings up the
Xbox One and
topic again.
PS4. You know,
Well, it looks. Well, I was gonna. I
Gamer
wouldn't even
crash
say it looks
already
like a
happened.
360 game. It looks like Watch Dogs looks like a Watch Dogs looks like a modern day Assassin's Creed game.
that's what it is. I mean, it's not
That's
really,
like-
but it's
I'm playing. I'm like,
probably made
this
from the same
is
engine.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, more than likely.
This is Assassin. They built that thing on using the Assassin's Creed engine. You can tell. You're like, this feels like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I mean, like all you're really going to see is like more fancier shit that couldn't be done on the last gen consoles, like particle effects. You're going to see a lot more of that now. Like you already see like the new version of Call of Duty compared to last gen. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff like that.
Well, that's
I mean,
why third party.
I've not seen. But one of the things that pisses me off the most about this generation, though, is the simple fact is like a lot of developers promised us like bigger, massive open worlds and all these other cool, in-game.
Nope, same skybox.
And yet we still haven't seen it yet. We still have not seen it, and we're already going now into the second year for Xbox One and PS4, but yet we still haven't seen it yet.
We'll see it with Xenoblade.
Dry
You'll
heaving
see it on
crap.
the last gen console.
Well, I mean, I'll give the first year of the consoles benefit of the doubt, but I mean, I'm hoping to God that
True.
like the next year and a half, we might see something that, like, okay, finally they're giving us something that they've been promising us, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But so far, I haven't seen shit. Excuse my language, but we have
Dude,
nothing yet that's worth that, that kind of thing, man. Dude,
Dude,
what about
this
Watch
is-
Dogs? No.
no, dude, this is look.
Not
This
even on
is
PC.
every console generation.
Exactly right.
Every console generation, there's a new catchphrase that marketing execs come up with at these gaming companies to get to sucker people into buying these games and consoles. Like, and this gen, it's 1080p, 60 frames per second.
Exactly.
And cloud.
They're having a hard,
cloud, yeah.
yeah, and are having a difficulty. No, that was Microsoft. The power of the cloud. But that was their thing, and I'm like, dude, why don't you work on getting good with the technology that's tried and true right now, then work on some stuff that's kind of coming in.
Yep.
You know what's hilarious? Nintendo is sort of talking about the cloud a little bit now.
I mean, and they've
you
effectively
heard?
been using the cloud anyway. That's what WeConnect
Yeah.
24 was. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just all the cloud is off-site processing. That's
Yep.
all that it is. It doesn't matter how big it is. All it means is that it is connected to something at a central location or a non-central location.
Hmm.
Yep.
That is the definition of cloud. My
Yep.
my router right here with a 2 terabyte hard drive in it could be a cloud for anything. It's a cloud.
Hmm.
So I
It's just a buzzword that people use, like
But but
he's
now the funny thing is though is that a lot of people I've been seeing on YouTube the last couple of days actually be coming out and actually confessing that yeah I was a person that was ignoring games blah 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 or ignoring the Xbox because they were all into like this resolution and this 60 frame crap. But even though a lot of games that have come out like Alien Isolation, that was a game that everybody was like, oh yeah, it's 1080p. Even Digital Foundry came out and actually stated that it was 1080p native, blah blah blah. But it turned out that it was 1080i.
Yep.
Friggin' which a lot of people were pissed about, and the Digital Foundry, did they even correct their statement? Frick
Of
no,
course
they
not.
don't care.
It's like,
They don't
it doesn't run at 60 frames per second. It runs at 60 fields, and yeah, we're doing 576 per frame instead of 1080. So yeah,
yeah.
they'll-
So a lot of people now are starting to come to terms and realize, I'm like, you know what? I don't care about resolution anymore. I don't care about the frame rate. I just want to play games, man. People are starting to come back to terms. Not a lot, but there's still people that are slowly basing into that, though. But more people now are starting to be like, you know what? I miss what gaming is, and that's all about having fun. And that's exactly what it always has been. It's always been
I'm
that way.
not
It's never
gonna.
been about resolution,
I'm
Mark.
not gonna let them get away with it though. I'm not gonna let them. I'm gonna
no.
remind them that
Yeah,
they're the
no, yeah.
reason why this is where we're
Yep.
at. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're the
Yeah,
reason
no,
why,
that I will
and you
agree. That I
should
will agree. Yep.
you should demand a higher quality of a
If this
higher
is what we do,
quality
let them do it.
experience. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But not at the cost of performance, not at the cost of you know
Gameplay and stuff, yeah.
gameplay and stuff. But that's what they did for the
Yep.
longest.
Well,
They
the
were
thing
like,
is,
it's got to look better and better and better, and that's
well,
all I
the
care about.
well, the thing is that it's biting them in the behind because okay, we have two
Yeah.
consoles that were made that are basically from Sony and Microsoft that are basically like jury rigged down gaming laptops from like 4 years ago, and that have been heavily modified to play games. They're they're gaming PCs that have been jury rigged down into a console. And I mean, that's what third parties wanted. They wanted games that they could port over to a console.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, and the hilarious thing is that their own 1080p 60 frames per second and game, because it's too darn expensive to like what they want. It's really hard to get a game to go 1080p 60 frames per second with all the effects they want to do. Like if
Yeah.
you want to have a system with all that stuff, you just need a gaming PC. But
Right.
so I mean, people were like, "Oh man, this game looks great on this console." Okay, let's go look at the PC version on game PC, and it smokes what's coming to a console. So either way, you're getting a gimped down game if you're getting a console version of a game right now. If it's also on PC.
Hey, I got a question before, because I'm about to have to leave, and it's a good segue. We're talking about performance, right? Um, are we impressed by how Splatoon looks on the Wii U?
Oh,
I
dang.
am.
I thought I was watching a Nickelodeon cartoon.
Is Splatoon not a next gen experience visually? I'm just wondering. Shadow Fox, maybe you can illuminate me.
Well, there's global illumination, so there's a lot of illumination on that one. I mean,
Yeah,
other than that, to me personally, it it kind of looks kind of low end, but they really refined what was there.
yeah,
So I think that like they're like, okay, the lighting model is going to be great. We're going to have a lot of extra polygons in the background that are not in the field of play, and we're going to make sure the animation is really smooth and kick it up as fast as we can. So and the particle effects, obviously the water effects from looks like came from Sunshine or something like that, look really good.
absolutely.
They look really
Yeah,
good. So
yeah.
um, character models don't really need to be high anyway because what is that? They're as long as they look rounded, it works to me. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it seems like if you can
Beautiful.
make that happen on a Wii U, which is supposed to be the weakest console, why does Sunset Overdrive not look at least 10 times better than that?
I,
You see what I'm
I
saying? Just visually. I'm from a visual aspect.
I have a
Well,
problem because to me the artistic vision was met if you just look at screenshots of Super Mario 3D World.
Hmm.
I
well,
mean,
Yeah.
you look at that, that looks like a 3D animated cartoon.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, it boils down to this, okay? Um, at a certain point, it's not so much the tools of the artist; it's the artist's creativity. And I don't
Yeah.
care if you're, a Sony fan, Microsoft fan. I don't care who you like. Nintendo, when it comes to like the talent of their developers, I would stack their developers against anyone else's and watch their developers run all over. Okay, so
Hmm.
I
And they
mean,
have new talent coming in.
yeah.
By the gamers for the gamers.
I mean, I'm not, I look, I like Sega back in the day, but I like all these people. But right now, if you take, I mean, I like Insomniac, I like their games, and Sunset Overdrive is fun. I played it at my friend's house, fun game. But
I gotta get that game. Oh my god.
it's
I'm in that camp too. I gotta. cop that myself.
it's a fun game. It's the Ratchet and Clank game we deserve, but Sony just won't make.
Blame Sony.
Yeah. Damn you, Sony! No, but pull William Shatner out, say Khan. But anyway, but it just, I mean, Nintendo. I mean, you give these people a butter knife and some bubble gum, and they'll make a wonderful sculpture with it. And you give the same thing to these fancy, dancy Western developers, and they're like, we can't do that. It's not powerful enough. And I'm like, no, you're not talented enough, okay?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Nobody has
Hey,
ever
but y'all-
called them on that because the quote unquote journalists want to agree with them.
You're not talented enough. You're not. I mean, I've seen people. I saw this dude with just a little pocket knife whittle something down till that looked almost lifelike. And then I saw another dude with one of those had the whole carpentry thing, and his stuff still looked like garbage because despite all of these tools, he didn't have the talent. And what it boils down to with development, because this stuff is, this stuff is, I mean, look, video game development is I mean, even though Nintendo says we don't make our games to be art, but, I mean, you have to have an artist's soul in order to be a game developer. It's not just about, oh, well, I know code. I mean, like, code is your paintbrush, but ultimately you're an artist. You're putting together. You have to be creative. You can't just say, "Oh, this looks great on paper," but you don't put your essence. You don't put soul into this game, and you can tell when a game is soulless. I mean,
Sony has released 4 platforms since early 1994 in Japan. I have reason to believe that the only internal team they have that actually knows how to use their hardware inside and out and make a great game is Polyphony Digital.
you mean the Gran Turismo team?
I really think that's the only internal team that they have. Everybody else they contract out.
Well, either that or they ran off long time ago. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone who really knew how to use their hardware, like the Insomniac's gone. The people who made Crash Bandicoot, like a lot of that team's
Santa
gone.
Monica is gone.
A lot of that team is gone. So I mean, I'm kind of mad about this.
And Microsoft they've never tried, so it's not even everybody first party they've purchased for the most part.
Yeah,
So,
and
But Sony had talent originally. It's just I don't know. None of them were really as strong as Polyphony. So
no, that's
to
the
me,
only ones they have left.
to me, I'm really hating the fate of the Dreamcast right now because at least like Sonic Team still makes good stuff. It just doesn't make it over here. Phantasy Star Online 2 is doing okay over there, and for whatever reason, it hasn't made it to the States, and I don't think it ever will now because it's too late.
I just want Yakuza. That's all I want. That's
Yes,
I
yes,
just
I want
want
Yakuza.
Come
I
on,
agree.
man. I just
down
want to
with
go
that.
around a fictional downtown Japanese city at night, beating up people who dare to mess with me. A Japanese gangster with a dragon tattoo on my back. That's all I want.
I just want Fighting Vipers 3. Can I? Yes,
Wow.
that's all I want.
I did not see that coming. Okay, I should have, but I didn't.
That's old school right there.
I'd rock that though. I'd rock that. All right. Do any of you gentlemen have any interesting topics that you want to bring up?
Nintendo Direct?
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it. I guess.
Several
You guys, cool for that?
That Majora's Mask reveal right at the very beginning, man. That definitely made a lot of people happy.
Oh yeah.
I, I was never really into Majora's Mask. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll probably copy
probably my
it from the
favorite,
3DS, but I was never really. But I was in the Marine Corps at that time too, so I was too busy doing stuff.
Hoorah.
yeah, I only ever.
Exactly.
When I had my N64, I didn't have it for too long before the GameCube came out, so I didn't really get a chance to play it because it was never in at my rental store. So I never got a chance to play. I played at a friend's place. I didn't really care for it because I don't like games that you're stuck on a time period. I'm not really a fan of those, but I wouldn't mind giving it a second look, though, honestly. So when I get my new 3DS model, like next year sometime, I'm planning on picking it up anyway. So
No,
The
you get a
end
new
is worth it.
3DS or a new 3DS.
Majora's Mask, the ending, the wrap up of that game is worth the journey.
Really?
Uh,
Yes.
I won't take it that far. I will say this much about Majora's Mask. It is. At first, I didn't like it. I'll be frank with you. At first, I didn't like it, and it's still not one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games. But I will say this much. It's a very fun. Like, even though people say it's a dark, it is kind of dark, but it's also really fun. Especially once you get the Fierce Deity Mask. It breaks the
once you-
entire.
I think that's what I mean about wrapping up. It's like there's a last. I want to say the last two powers that you get in the game, other than what happens at the climax, really makes you want to finish that game, and it's a lot more entertaining, if you will, than say how it is maybe the first 6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
it's one
once
of
you
those
get into
you
it-
gotta tough it out, and then you really start to enjoy it.
Once
Yeah.
you get into it, it really starts to, it's. I mean, but the only thing that gets me is that I'm surprised that people are like, "Oh, I'm shocked." Come on, look, Nintendo made the engine for this game when they did when
Ocarina of
Grezzo
Time.
did Ocarina of Time. This
Pretty
game
much.
was going to come out. It was going to come out. Of course,
Just a matter
they
of
took
when.
their time. They kept it under wraps, but it was going to come eventually.
Yeah, they held on to it and smiled and smirked, but we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They're not
I
just
was
going to
not
release
surprised when
Ocarina
I
of
saw
Time
the.
to say everybody
In 3D
just
too, so-
Majora's Mask. Yeah, exactly.
If any game
I mean, I
in
knew that
3D,
game was
probably
eventually going
that
to
one.
come, but yeah, I knew that game was eventually going to come around. Eventually, a lot of people just thought, "Oh, Nintendo's not going to make it. They don't care for us." And boom, out of nowhere, they just showed off at this direct, and everybody was like, "God damn it!" I mean, that's the thing, man. I'll say it before, and I'll say it again. Never doubt Nintendo, man. That's the problem. When people start doubting them, man, they turn around and just fucking boom, right in your
People
face.
keep on forgetting is Nintendo. They're all about gaming and creativity. So
Yes.
if it's a creative or a good game, best believe it's gonna come back
And
at
I
some
think that's
point.
the reason why Nintendo gets so much fucking flack at the end of the day is because of that reason. It's because they want to be creative, and I was like, I don't want Nintendo to be creative. I want them to go back to the way they were back on the NES when they were actually getting third-party support. I'm like, oh, so you never cared about Nintendo games at all, period. You only cared about
Yeah, you just
third-party.
wanted
Oh,
to
okay.
third party. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I love when Mr. T put people out like that in one of his videos. He's like,
No, he's technically
no,
right.
you
They're
like
ignoring the Wii U because it has
third-party.
no third-party support, and then they never cared about Nintendo at all, period, during those old generations. They only cared about the third-party aspects.
And there was some cherry picking done as a response to that, but a lot of those arguments are flawed too. But I'll reserve that to a little more attic dwelling I'll do later. But it's interesting to say the least that basically a hit dog will holler. But a lot of the people that say, "Oh well, I grew out of it." No, you didn't grow out of it. You were just never there to begin
Yeah.
with.
Exactly.
No, they like to
Exactly.
say that Nintendo left them behind. No, you left Nintendo behind. Nintendo was moving on. You went over to be cool and went to put graphics and FMVs and
Yeah,
full
yeah.
video and CGI imaging and all that part.
Like when you look at the forefront of it all, though, I mean, like Nintendo hasn't. I mean, if you look at Nintendo's company itself, not from third party wise, but just Nintendo itself, they've been doing the same stuff they've been doing ever since the NES days. They
Yep.
haven't changed. They've been making the same franchises, but making them better and different every generation. They've been adding some new IPs, which a lot of people either throw away or ignore, or they don't even realize Nintendo even made a new IP.
Even the same concepts. Nintendo has been working on an online infrastructure since the Famicom.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
they were planning on you doing your taxes with that thing.
Yep.
Yep. I remember that.
They've been working on alternative storage since the Famicom. That's why it was the Famicom disk system.
Yep, and it was a disc.
So
It was a
it's
disc.
not.
I remember that because I'm sorry, I'm not gonna incriminate myself, but you already know what's up, Shadow.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just a. I really have a problem when somebody says Nintendo needs to get with the times. I'm like, the concept itself is actually old, and they were there. They
Yeah.
were there. You know, Atari tried to do it. They tried to do it. Everybody's been doing it. It's just
Yep.
as technology, quote unquote, improves, what you define as a feature was improved to make things easier for you. But that doesn't mean it didn't exist prior.
Yeah.
The Dreamcast was not the first online console. It was not. I wish a lot of people would.
Wasn't it
Yeah.
Sega who did the online first? Or I'm not too sure on that
Super
one. That's
Nintendo
kind
had
of
an online little third
Super
party.
Nintendo had it, but
Uh,
Sega.
I
Sega
want to
did
say
the thing
Atari was the very first home console to attempt to use a modem.
Yeah.
I think it was the I want to say it was the 5800, and then there was obviously the computer class one, the one that basically was a computer.
Yeah.
So those were the first ones that attempted it, to my knowledge, and then the Famicom tried it. Then Sega Channel didn't appear until the Saturn, so I think X-Band was the only official Genesis hardware here in the United States. There may have been one in Japan, but I'm not sure of it. Nintendo has the Teleview in Japan and in hotels here in the United States. Believe it or not, it was here in the United States. It was just in hotels only.
Yeah, hell, even their Game Boy even had an online thing too as well, like that Game Boy TV, I think it was called, or something like that.
Game Boy TV. Yes.
Yeah. So they had that too as well. So online, they've been doing stuff in online like very slowly, but it was just like more like gimmicks, according to a lot of people. Look at it, oh, it's just a gimmick.
The
But at
thing
least
is
they
this. The thing is this. Okay, Nintendo has been basically, they try something out. If it doesn't, if it's not where it needs to be, if it's not perfected, they put it, they take it into the back and they work on it, and it doesn't reappear until they've gotten it to a point where they can, it's dependable, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'd rather have a dependable online than, you know, what we see from PS4, which seems like every 6 months or so it's hacked and it's down for like a week.
Well, we don't know it's hacked, but we can assume that they're getting hacked.
After last week's news, I'm scared to turn mine on. It's been in standby mode for about 10 days now.
You know that's pretty bad when you're terrified to turn on your own damn console, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
After all the news last week, I didn't even turn it on. I
You
just
know
played.
why
I just played
Nintendo
the
never
Wii.
gets hacked?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, aside from their
Because
home
they go old school.
online
Because
hacking.
all their stuff is old school. See, here's the thing. If you go analog with a lot of stuff, people get mad because it's old school. It's like the old way of doing things. But it's harder to hack old stuff than it is to hack new stuff in some cases, because everyone's gone up to like ultra technology, but the new technologies aren't perfected yet. So there's still holes.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot
here's
of
the other thing too. Nintendo did it really smart because they did separation of church and state. They didn't know what developers were going to want as far as an online infrastructure, so they left it wide open. So every game technically has its own online interface as far as like local servers and peer-to-peer networks and things like that.
Yep.
So Nintendo Network itself, with your sign-in, is completely separate from you playing online.
Yep.
The only thing that would do, it would just make you a offline local account, and if you still had online capability on your network, even though Nintendo Network is down, your IP address can still connect to another machine to play a match.
Yep.
So that is separate from Nintendo Network, which is separate from Miiverse, which is separate from Club Nintendo, which is separate from eShop.
So if
There's
you
no way to bring all of it down at one time, unless you mass DDoS.
Yeah, so if you hear, like, you know, when you hear these third-party developers say, well, the online infrastructure for the Nintendo is terrible. No, you don't want to make the effort to program your game to work in that infrastructure.
Which is funny to me because EA wanted to take over the entire online infrastructure, but since Nintendo was like, well, you could just make your own for each game, which is what they were doing prior to Xbox Live, and now they don't want to do it.
Look, this is EA, and we all know how EA is, or how EA is right now. See, I remember when EA actually made quality games. I know people are like, oh, they made quality games? Yes, EA used to make quality games.
Desert Strike.
Desert Strike, Guy, they published a lot of quality games. It escapes me right now. Dang. Mercenaries, The Godfather. Some really good games, and they just, I don't know what happened. Well, actually, I do know what happened. EA got greedy.
They haven't been the same since 3DO.
Nope. Well, look, the 3DO was when EA showed their true colors. One console future where, like, there's no other competitors and it's all under one roof. I was like, that sounds kind of shitty for first-party developers. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It would basically, the 3DO was the attempt for third parties to take all the power away from first party developers and console manufacturers and put all the power in the hands of shitty, pardon my French, third party developers. And it failed then. Good thing it did.
To me, it seems like now, like a lot of, like, when it comes to third-party support, it seems like, like, the Western side of the world, they're out, definitely out. Ubisoft, they're done. They'll keep releasing Just Dance, even though they could sit there and say, oh yeah, Wii U owners want Just Dance. It's like, no, Wii only owners want Just Dance, not Wii U only owners.
I don't think Wii only owners want Just Dance. I think no one wants. I think Ubisoft gives someone.
Like flying colors on the Wii, but it sells like crap on the Wii U. So
I think Ubisoft gives someone like $10 million and tells them to buy a whole bunch of Just Dance copies so they can continue and say, oh yeah, it sells really well. No one wants.
The more I look at these sales numbers, I'm starting to think that Nintendo actually did the right thing. I'm starting to think they actually did market the system to people our age, and it's just a lot fewer of us than there were, say, all the moms and whatever else for Wii Sports back in the day. So I really think it is really just the hardcore gamers, for the most part,
that's what I've been saying from the start. I said a long time ago when the Wii U first launched, when I saw that launch lineup that they had going, there was very few casual games. Most of it was all core titles. And then, like, that first year, it was abysmal, but I think Nintendo left that first year open for third-party developers to actually...
They gave them their chance.
They did the same thing with the 3DS.
Yeah, and they didn't. Look what happened. It bit Nintendo in the ass, and then they had a full year of nothing there.
Well,
Nintendo could have easily filled in that gap, but the way Nintendo is when it comes to making their games, they don't rush products out of the gate like most developers.
When they come, they're rolling.
You know what?
Yeah, exactly.
I used to think that first year of, like, no games coming from quality games coming from third party was a terrible thing. Well, no, we got a few quality games like Lego City.
Yeah, and Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Deus Ex and that
Rayman Legends.
Scribblenauts game, Rayman Legends.
It was awesome. Yeah,
I feel like Darksiders.
Darksiders. No, Darksiders 2 was actually a pretty damn good port.
That game crashed on me so many times, I just got mad. I was like, this mother.
Well, I'm sure THQ was going to patch that, but that's like.
Well, here's the thing: I can't get too mad because I had the game on PS3 too, and it crashed on that too. So I think maybe THQ just had a really bad team.
That's when they were like on the verge of like.
Yeah, exactly. They had the C team working on that. But my point is this. That was the best thing in the world for Nintendo because they got to see without the platitudes, just by the actions, how these third parties actually thought of them. Now, people suspected it, but here's the thing. Like, I kept on hearing a lot of people, well, Nintendo's losing money. Let me tell you something. Nintendo has so much money in the bank. Like, the funds that are publicly shown, then they have the privately held funds that you don't know about and they don't have to disclose. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're private bank stash.
They have so much money that they could take that hit and work on their own stuff and build that massive new building with all the consolidated studios and that new studio for intelligent systems.
Well, isn't that building already done? Isn't that supposed to be like open the 1st of January?
They finished it and they're moving all the people in, and that's why next year is going to be all these games coming out because they're gonna. They're streamlining how they make their stuff.
That's exactly what Nintendo wanted to do, and that's exactly what they are doing. You're going to be seeing a lot more games be done quicker, but with the same quality intact.
People keep on talking junk about Satoru Iwata. Look, when you build a studio like that, the plans for that had to have been started 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Well before the Wii U ever even... Well, it was probably in the workings at that point, but well before the Wii U hit the market, they were like...
I think that building was paid for with GameCube money.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. It was probably paid for with
I'm
Either
sure it didn't cost them that much to get that
GameCube and
building.
DS money.
Well, what, a couple
Game,
million?
GameCube and DS money. But I mean, the thing is that people just like to talk junk about. People just like to talk junk about Nintendo because it's fun. It's fun to throw mud at Nintendo because Nintendo, they're classy. They aren't going to go on Twitter and be like Hideki Kami and say,
Banned, blocked.
eat caca.
The only person that talks jump back is Reggie, and that's very rare now.
But Reggie's cool with his junk. Reggie's like, well, you look at the other systems, and you see a lot of the same game across all 5 platforms.
And
It's
he's not
amazing.
wrong on that statement at all. He's totally right on that
That's
statement.
the
100%.
truth.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing, Advanced Warfare is on 5 platforms. Really, it would be overkill if it was on the Wii U. And I know some people are going to say, you're just saying that because it's not on your system. I'm not saying that because they're not on the system. I haven't played a Call of Duty. I've played Call of Duty. I haven't bought a Call of Duty on a system since it's been out. I've never bought Call of Duty, except once, Ghosts. And then I opened the box because I ordered it off of Amazon because it was on sale. I was like, I'm not even going to really play this game. And I put it back in, and I sent it back and got my money back.
I want to put something out here real quick, and I want to be really real. It's actually kind of a tertiary topic, but so I don't know if you guys still follow IGN, but they did an interview with Perrin Kaplan not too long ago.
Yeah, I watched that.
Okay, so one of the topics she talked about was in development of the Wii and the Wii U, and how it was so kind of interesting how they kind of basically NOA was blind that the Wii existed, and they showed it to them in Japan for the first time and tried it out, and they got addicted to it, so they understood exactly how to market it, put it in people's hands. Now with the Wii U, Perrin actually mentioned something kind of interesting, and it's basically that Nintendo has the guns. They had multiple models of what would end up being the Wii U in development at the same time. One of which would probably be favorably comparable to the quote-unquote numbers of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I'm fairly sure it was the rumored specs that the Xbox One originally had, which was the power CPU with the same type of GPU.
Yeah.
So, because Nintendo was going to stick with IBM. They were going to stick with him. They were just going to either go for something really close to the Power 6 or Power 7 model and then go from there, and have really high TDP as far as like power requirements and stuff like that, which would mean there'd be a really big fan in there. So it'd be like a GameCube 2 or something. But they had that going at the same time. They had the Wii U with the gamepad going at the same time, and they also had something similar that Perrin Kaplan and the previous interviewee, which is Julian Egerbrecht, that Nintendo had the same thing going on for the Wii. So they had something that was closer to the 360 and the PS3 when they were working on the Wii. But they were like, okay, the focus clearly here is the control mechanism and how to get this to work, because we tested this internally and it's obviously a hit. So this is what we're going to focus on, because it's going to cost this amount of money and this is how we make a profit on it over this amount of years, versus saying throw it all in the same box together, make it HD, and then we'll make a profit on it in like 7 years.
Well, I mean, let's be frank here.
It's not like they can't do it.
Nintendo thinks about, they could do power. They could get into a power war with Microsoft and Sony, and they'd lose. Not because Nintendo couldn't have a powerful console.
That's not them.
What's the use of having a powerful console when you're losing money every time you sell a console? That's the thing. I'm shocked. I'm like, why do you every console gen you do this? Why? You're like a dog that keeps on biting his own tail and
Microsoft
when
can
you bite
afford
your
to.
tail.
Microsoft can afford to do it because that's how they started the brand to begin with.
Well, they have
They
godlike
went and
money.
talked to people and paid for who they needed to pay for to get in on the platform.
Well,
Sony is trying to play their game, and they're going to lose eventually.
No, they don't. And the thing that gets me is this. Okay, Microsoft. It's reached the point where when Big Daddy Ballmer was there, he would give them a blank check to do this. The new man ain't doing that stuff. Okay?
No.
The new CEO's like, really? You better produce some profits or.
Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, And Sony
agree.
tried to do that. They tried to do that with the PS4. I mean, with the PS3, and it backfired on them miserably because Sony has always Sony. They push formats. They'll take a hit in the beginning and then sell the format and get their money back. That didn't
Well,
work during the PS3.
Here's the $100 million question. Now you said Nintendo would fail, right? What if they didn't? What is to stop them if all of a sudden now there's no excuse not to get the platform? What if it ran all the games better than any other platform, and you also had access to all the Nintendo classics? What's the point of buying another platform at that point?
Because
Do you really buy Xbox just for Halo?
I would agree with you, except for one small thing. You have people like to say the anti-Nintendo conspiracy is it's look, there is an anti-Nintendo conspiracy. Third parties are going out of their way, and not just Nintendo. People need to get it out of their head. It's just Nintendo. Third parties want to take over this industry. They want to.
GameCube proved that more than anything.
They want to take control over how games are made, what they're sold as, how they're sold, and who's getting them, and primarily where the money's being funneled. Okay, so Microsoft just caved. So did Sony caved. Nintendo's the only one saying, you know what? No. No, that's not how this works. Okay.
Well, Sega was like that too, but to a fault.
What?
Sega was like that too, but to a fault.
Well, Sega was like that, but what killed Sega was just them. What killed Sega was that they gave way too much power to the western part of their company, and those friggin' add-ons killed Sega. But it just continuously just add. Oh god.
But they told third parties no too, and in result they got mad and tried to leave, and Sega was like, "Screw you, we'll make our own anyway, and they'll sell just as well." So
and they did for a long time. But what killed Sega was that the add-ons,
previous debts.
Those add-ons, because every time they made a new add-on, they had to put R&D into it, and they were selling it at a loss, and they were using parts that were licensed from other people. So every time they sold one, they had to give a portion of the profits of the money they made to someone else. Kind of like how Microsoft now with the Xbox One has Blu-ray technology, and every time they sell an Xbox One, they're giving part of the money to Sony. I'm like, why would you do that?
Do you think if Sega was still in the picture that there would be more control from first parties versus all this third party crap that's happening right now?
No, because Sega, even back then, even with the Dreamcast, Sega was starting. You could tell Sega during the Saturn era was starting to go down. You could tell, they were just, you could tell Sega was going down, and it would have taken a massive 180 of how Sega was being run from the top down in order to fix that problem. The only thing they could do at that point was just get sold and bought by someone. Sammy, thanks for buying Sega.
It seems like Sega is still in on that front though, because they do a lot of combined work with Nintendo.
Oh, they do.
And there's a lot of things they're not willing to do directly with the other platform holders.
The reason they do that is because Sega's been through it. The same crap that EA pulled with the Nintendo, they pulled on Sega.
Yeah,
right.
That's exactly what it is.
Same crap. Sega's been stabbed in the back before. They're like, hey, this is where they stabbed me in the back. And Nintendo's like, you've been down this road. You can kind of help us navigate the oceans a little bit, and that's good. But in terms of until Sony can't afford the money hat like they used to, so that's off the table. But until Microsoft, with their huge amounts of money, stops doing it, it's just going to keep on going. It's just going to keep on going. And Microsoft has to say, you know what, we can't do it anymore. We cannot give you these guys a check for these games where they just do a half-assed effort to put the game on the system with. Destiny came out with some free DLC, but only if you own the PS4 version. If you got an Xbox One version, you just SOL.
Which wasn't really free because Sony paid for it.
Yeah, I know, but that is some dirty stuff to do to someone. Someone paid $60 for a game, plus if you own a PS4, Xbox One, it's online, you're paying $15 a month or $50 to $60 a year, and then you're going to get screwed out of DLC.
But they're
No.
doing the same thing for Call of Duty on the Xbox side, so
Yeah. So I mean,
it's drug deal after drug deal.
you have to. This has to end. I mean, I'm not saying it needs to go back to the way it was back in the day, but I mean, it doesn't have to. I mean, because there are no more of their cartridges. Nintendo doesn't hold the monopoly on the cartridges like they used to. But look, it has to go back to where you get your money together, you make a chance, you take a chance. If your game's good, it sells, you make a profit, and everyone gets paid, and we all go home. None of this. Oh well, I gave you $100 million to develop the game, and then I took all the risk. The game still flopped, but you take the code, make a sequel that's better than the original, and sell it on everything else, and just poo-poo what I gave. I mean, this has to end. It has to end.
I am going to say this right now, though. I think one of the best games that's going to really utilize and push the system pretty goddamn hard for the Wii U would probably definitely have to be Xenoblade X or Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh, of course.
You know what?
Okay, listen.
I don't even think it's going to push it.
I haven't spoken in like this whole freaking thing yet, but now you brought up X, I'm really freaking in. All right, listen. When I saw that game, I got boner. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, so did I.
That's too much information.
Oh my god, I'm just like, all right, listen. And they announced that they also put on the Twitter like we're in the final stages of development. I was like, yeah, this is releasing in spring. This is releasing in spring.
So here's my question: did anybody notice that the graphical style changed twice?
Yes.
Yes.
So it went to the kind of cartoony thing at E3. Then it kind of switched to a hybrid of the original alpha footage and what we saw at E3 for the last footage we just saw.
It really is like a mix of, let's say, for the people at least, it's like a mix of anime and mostly what we saw at the first time. But looking at that game now, despite all that graphical bull, yo man, that game, I'm gonna be on there for hours.
But you know what pissed me off? Is the fact that I've seen a lot of people actually comparing the actual city frickin' segment of that trailer to GTA.
Completely different.
The thing is though, I never listen to those people because they're a bunch of idiots. So the thing is, they're comparing two games that are not even similar in that factor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And this is a open world RPG. Okay, that's what it is.
And also,
hold on, let's compare the combat of Xenoblade to GTA.
There is no comparison.
Let's do that.
It's just the fact that you got these stupid people trying to knock off this game as much as they can because they know when this game comes out, it's going to be a huge, massive world. Look, they know it.
It's gonna be the shit.
Did you see that huge ass freaking enemy when that guy was walking in the desert? Did you see that?
All I have to say is, has anybody gotten over level 100 in the original Xenoblade?
Yes.
I'm still trying to find it, man. I can't get my hands on it.
Have you seen
in the second playthrough I did?
Okay, have you seen any of all the rest of the legendary bosses
enemies
that you can fight? Yes.
Oh god. The first one, well, actually, yeah, I did. Because early on in the game, in the second playthrough, you can go into areas that you didn't go to originally, because you're overpowered at that point, relatively speaking. But then you meet some of the. Well, it's New Game Plus, man. I'm not going into specifics.
Played it yet. I've been trying to. I've been hunting down that game.
It's possible to grind and do it through the first playthrough.
You go into areas that the monsters just overpowered for you in the first playthrough, because you were going through normally, and you meet up with some of those legendaries that are like, oh my god, they wiped me out and I'm overpowered.
And they're usually fairly large.
Yes. Oh god, they're large. Oh.
And these are enemies that, for the most part, you didn't see, because there are certain conditions you have to see a lot of them, and some of them are in parts of a map that you didn't previously have access to.
Yep.
In the same area, but in a different part of the map.
Yep.
And sometimes they're just there because you're a certain level. You're a certain level, now it shows up. And it's huge, and it's there, and everything else ran away.
But the loot they drop. Oh. The loot they drop.
So, considering that, and considering that was a 480p platform.
I'm just going to say this, man. When you look at Xenoblade, the original, they said this is going to be, I don't know how many times they said, but it's going to be way bigger
Four
and the
times
one
bigger than
Wii,
the
of
first
course.
than the
All right,
original.
4 times.
If it
So
was the same size as Xenoblade, that's
That'd
still
still be too damn. I mean, let's be
imagine Gora Plains 4 times over. Imagine that.
holy.
That's
Oh,
basically what they're saying here.
Not only
Okay.
that, did you guys notice that when they showed that screenshot of what the gamepad's going to look like the gamepad integration, did you guys notice the little keyboard icon off to the right-hand side is one of the icons you can click
that
on?
works for me.
yeah.
Sounds like online chat.
It
The thing
works.
is,
It works
online.
okay.
The thing is, though, there's so many things that they can do with online. Okay.
Oh,
Of
God,
course,
yeah.
you have that. You have the whole gamepad integration with having the keyboard and all that stuff. Which I don't know why MMOs from other MMOs have not come and actually done this kind of stuff because the
Money.
gamepad is perfect for MMOs and all this stuff. Yes, I
Money.
know. Money. I know. Trust me. But it's just when you look at this game and then you imagine what you can do online. I already have too many ideas, but all right. By that time, we need an invitation system. Okay. By that time, there's got to be a way that I can connect my headset to my Wii U and chat because I'm sorry the mic on the gamepad doesn't cut it. Because unless you want that thing to die even faster. But it's just you have those chat functionalities, actual voice chat, not just text chat or have it when you're in a lobby or something. It has to be full on voice chat. I don't want none of that excuse of the bandwidth and the bandwidth. I don't want that excuse because that can
Now,
work.
let's not forget to as well. Back in December of 2013, like last December, Monolith, posted an actual job posting looking for somebody that has experience in the online multiplayer department. Man,
I think. I
I'm
think they
liking
can
that.
do it. I
I'm
think they
liking
can do it.
this because if they can, and they probably will, the next Monolith game that they make, okay, will be an MMO. I hopefully it's an
God,
MMO.
no.
Because
This-
God,
honestly,
if this game
no.
has 4-player online co-op that I can go around the world and do whatever the hell I want, and they can do their own thing too as well, or pair up in 4s or pair up in 2s, whatever the case may be. I'm sold, man. I mean, I'm buying the game regardless because I
wanna-
can't find the first one, and I want to play the first game so effing bad, and it's pissing me off. But the
'Cause-
second one though is gonna get pre-ordered extremely freaking soon, man.
Because the thing is, I like that, when you're online, of course, with 4 players, you can either, go with each other in, like, groups of 2, or just go in group as in general, or just separate yourselves and explore the world and be like, hey, look at this, man. Like, it's like all that. And, that's what I like. So I'm thinking with the next game, or if they could patch it in one of these days when the game does come out, where they can make it where the online, you're with your group, and then there's other groups out there, in each and every other section.
What if they
Right.
pull a Bayonetta 2?
A Bayonetta 2?
What if they pull a
They
Bayonetta
install the
2
original Xenoblade inside of the game,
with Game
but
Pass
but
support?
improved with Game Part. That would be sweet.
1080p.
They should because it's limited. They only had a limited release. A lot of people still
Yeah.
want the game and they can't get it.
Well, I mean, the thing is that that
Yeah.
relationship they did, that deal that they cut with GameStop is hindering them from re-releasing that. However,
They could release it on the
found a way
eShop.
around that.
They could
They
do it
found a
on
way-
eShop.
They found a way around that with the new 3DS and that new game.
Yeah.
That's gonna be your new kit right there. But I mean,
Because honestly, if they can make it where, because I'm liking the way that it's going, and I'm liking the direction that they're going, definitely, because now you have the mechs, you have all this stuff, which makes transport easier than, the first one, right? So, now that you have this big, huge open world, there's so much you can do with online. So hopefully they can make it where if you're online, you're playing with thousands of other people, and basically you can, create your own, I don't know, type of clans or type of groups and go out and explore, have all that kind of stuff, and that would just make the online functionality better for the fact of, there would be separate lobbies like, let's say if it would be like kind of Monster Hunter a little bit, where, you just choose your room and there you go, and it's not like where you're restricted to like 4 people. It's where, you're with like a whole world filled with people, but it's, that's just the room that you're in. Like, it's kind of like a server. But that's basically how I would see it. And I'm really just hoping that they do a lot with. I'm just hoping that they reveal a lot more with the online, because that would be nice to see what we can do, what kind of stuff we can do, and hopefully there would be like some kind of PvP thing, but that would be nice.
I'll tell you this much. The one thing I'm just kind of mad because I really want this game, but it makes me mad with the missed opportunity that other game developers are missing. Because if the Wii U is capable of this type of open world game, there is no excuse for there not to be more games like this on the system.
Touche.
Mm. I have no words about that.
Because I would hate for this to be the only open world game with multiplayer that's like epic RPG open. Like I don't want this to be like the N64 where we only had like 4 RPGs.
That would suck.
No, honestly, I believe that this game will show, even though I know they're still not going to do it, but will show these people that make RPGs and MMOs and stuff like
Get
that.
your shit together, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But this will show them what they can do with the gamepad to make it even easier to do things. Because when I play, like, for example, FF14, which is Final
Breath of
Fantasy
Fire
14,
for you.
right? Or play games like that, and there's a chat box there where you can just chat to your party and stuff like that. I don't want to do it with my controller, honestly, because it's crazy because you don't know where you're going with the D-pad and everything, so it's kind of weird. So here they can make it where, okay, just one tap on the gamepad, there you go, automatic keyboard, yeah, automatically do that. So that's what I like. I really like that. So hopefully that they would give all these ideas and actually get them from this game and expand on them for future RPGs. But yeah.
Capcom, get your shit together. Square
Exactly.
Enix, get your shit together.
Give me a Breath of Fire, Capcom.
For real. Breath of
Hell.
Fire for you. Make it happen.
Port the Old Republic to the Wii U. I'll play that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Online. I'll play all that.
And I know we don't like GTA here. I would love. Look, I don't even want GTA 5. Give me GTA San Andreas.
Yeah, with the mission map on there. Yeah,
Give me GTA San Andreas.
I'll take that too.
And Vice City too. Just to heck, give me a Bully too. Come on, man.
But whatever. I'm gonna find that freaking game. I don't care if it kills me yet.
What, Xenoblade?
Damn right, dude.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's going to be really expensive. You do better just waiting for the new 3DS to come out and getting it then.
I looked at Amazon and eBay, dude, and the prices they're asking for, man.
It's ridiculous. I know.
I just want to play because I'm in the mood to play a really, really long, epic RPG, and I know Xenoblade Chronicles will definitely be there to give me that experience, man.
I had
It's not an
opportunity
it's
to
not
buy
an
two
RPG.
of those, and keep one sealed, and I didn't. I don't know why I didn't, but I really missed out then because I'm definitely not giving away the copy that I played, and that sealed copy will be worth a lot of money right now. So I'm kind of mad at myself.
Yeah.
I have mine, and I've gone to GameStop. Like, how much could I get if I traded this in, just to know how much it's worth? Like, well, we'll give you $50. I'm like, yeah, but you were. This was like when they were selling it for like 90 something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you're selling it for 90 something. They're like, oh well, we need to make money. I'm like,
$40? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty big
that's
step
a
up.
90%
You're gonna sell it for
increase.
96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
There's a reason I don't like GameStop.
Yeah. Guys.
It's time to wrap it up.
This is us, and I would love to talk all night long because you know how we roll, but we gotta wrap it up unless
We're gonna knife.
you guys want to go solo or whatever. But got things to do. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's fine. We can wrap it up.
But before we wrap it up, is there anything else anybody want to get off their chest? Within that 10 minutes or less, hopefully.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. All my stuff is podcast length worthy, so no.
Oh, me and you
expect-
gotta talk, Shadow.
I'll give just one announcement to the thing.
Okay.
Expect a lot of information on what we're gonna do in future stuff because trust me, Smash Brothers, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
That tournament information is gonna be up soon. to see how that's gonna go. Even though I know it's not gonna be out the first day, but you'll get to know how you can at least get entered. And also, we're gonna be doing a lot of things with Twitch, especially. So catch on with the news. I'm gonna be making a video and upload it to this channel tomorrow. And that'll explain at least the Smash Brothers one, and then the next one will explain, which will be around probably Saturday. I'll put it up about like what we're going to be doing with Twitch and live streams in general. So that way, whatever game it is, you guys can enjoy it. It can be what Halo, it can be freaking Mass Effect. I don't care what it is. Like we're going to be doing this whole streaming games on either Twitch or YouTube, so I'm just gonna let you know about that, and many more to come. So watch out for that stuff. But yeah.
Naruto, why? Sorry, I had to say it.
Oh yeah, and just for all you, because I know probably there's some anime fans who, it ended after like what 15 years. So yeah, have a good day.
But you're angry it ended?
I'm kind of angry. No, the thing is,
the
like, I'm sad, but I'm happy at the same time.
Yeah, it's a lot of mixed feelings.
It's that kind of thing. You know?
I'm glad that it's over, so now I can start watching it from the beginning, and there's an end that I can get to. Because I'm not even gonna try and catch up with One Piece.
700
I'm not
chapters,
doing it.
dude.
I'm not doing
Oh,
it.
dang. Well, let's not get into the anime.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
We'll talk about that.
It's like I don't know about it. If I didn't get it, I'm not gonna go back for it.
All right. So I guess that's it. So I guess we do our outros. I guess. All right. Fair, go for it. I guess. I don't know what the freak. It's just so quiet.
Who, me?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right,
Outro.
well, of course, you guys know me. I'm your boy, Bearhugger29. You know, the Canadian fat ass, but whatever. Thanks for having me on here tonight. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back in the spotlight again for these podcasts. I've been away from these things for a very, very long time. So.
All right. Good shit. Raining. Okay. All right, Red Fox. I think you can go now.
Yeah, I got something to say, and that is settle it in Smash.
All right. Shadow Fox.
You know, this is Road Ninja K9 Descent, and because I probably never do it in the podcast, I'll go ahead and do it now. Gotta give shout outs. Man, BearHurry29, Dr. Feelgood, Jay Fleming, who's the man. I mean, we got everybody here. You know what I'm saying? Jamie Butterworth, even people from other walks of life, like Nia the Video Gamer, Quan Manchu, the wonderful, illustrious Mega Gamer Man, who is also with me on this podcast, Mr. Red Fox. I mean, this is what it's all about to me. I mean, myself and the Good Shepherd, who we are apparently brothers. I didn't know about that until today. But yeah, we are all a community, and I would like to give a shout out to all of you guys for making a lot of things possible. And I can't forget my Katana brother, Mr. Zen Gamer. So you guys have made gaming slightly more fun for me. I would say a lot more fun for me. Since the beginning of this generation, and I would just like to say thank you to you guys, and for anybody else that is familiar to what we are doing. It can't be anything but positive. Anything that's not part of the normal flow, which is being basically spiraling into negativity and a lot of basically not having fun with video games, is you're buying them for the wrong reason. So I'm glad that I'm around a bunch of people that actually do care about where this platform goes and about what it was all about from the get-go. Granted, the company has to make money, but how are they making money? You're coming back for a reason. And hopefully it isn't propaganda. Hopefully it was for the original reason that, you know, a lot of us started back in the 80s with. So, yeah, that's me. I'm the Road Ninja K9 Descent. You can find me on YouTube, and stuff will be up this week. So, that's me. Oh, I forgot to always say this, but do you play games to have fun and to impress other people? I think I missed that last time.
All right. I guess Shepard, you back? I guess not. But all right, so that's Good Shepherd. He was supposed to do all the outro stuff because he's the host, but I guess I'm just gonna have to do it.
The busy man.
All right.
But I didn't. Oh, you here? All right.
Yeah,
You're the last one to
sorry.
do outro, so
All
go
right,
for it.
cool. Shadow, I heard your thing. Much props, my fellow devil. Respect.
Raw.
Um, I want to say Ura, but I can't say it soft, and I don't want to blow your eardrums out. It feels weird saying Ura soft. So,
I
um,
understand.
yeah. So, much respect to you and what you said, bro, because that's what Gamers at Large is all about. We're about enjoying this platform and trying to go positively forward in our wonderful hobby, and show respect to people that can do that. And much respect to everybody here. I agree with him on that. Twilight, the zombies got him. Sorry, he's infected. Um, I wish him the best of luck before he fully turns. Uh,
Oh my god.
If he
no,
Wow,
I'm
doesn't
just
dude,
make it,
that's
we'll have to put
amazing.
him down.
I'm just being stupid. But anyways, RPG lives on. If the game takes less than 40 hours to beat, it's not an RPG.
Correct.
Sorry, it's just not. And that's all I have to say. All the best. I'll be posting videos soon. I'm back finally. I finally have some freedom again, thank God. So you'll be seeing me more. I'll be playing games. I'll be getting game capture cards soon enough. So I might show some gameplay and all that good stuff. All the best. Game on.
All right.
Mr. T,
So,
what's up, fools?
but
What's up, fools?
I forgot to do mine. Frick. But
We're
yeah.
still
So yeah,
alive.
Gamer Man. And I know you're seeing the gamers at large thing, and you guys probably like, what the fuck? But it's all good. And I have actually a new series where I show up all the at least some of the artwork that I go through Miiverse at the Art Academy section. And this is just how beautiful they do it on this gamepad. So catch on those. It's called Talents of Miiverse. And I already have the first one uploaded, and you guys can go check that out. These people are really, really good. The
Yes.
gamepad, I'm just really like, what the frick, you know? But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and like I always say, don't lose your way, don't be afraid, just game till the end. Peace. And I guess that concludes episode 45.
I guess it does.